A warm welcome to all the curious minds out there. Today we're unmasking the mystery of mosquitoes. These tiny creatures, often seen as mere annoyances, hold a significant place in our ecosystem and impact our lives in ways you may not have imagined. In this journey, we'll explore their fascinating anatomy, the dark side of their existence, and some intriguing myths and curiosities. So, fasten your seatbelts, as we're about to dive into the world of these tiny yet impactful creatures. So, what makes a mosquito a mosquito? Well, let's dive in and explore the fascinating world of these tiny creatures. Mosquitoes are small, midge-like flies that belong to the family Culicidae. Despite being small, they're quite complex. Adult mosquitoes typically measure about 3/16 of an inch in length, but they pack a lot of features into that tiny frame. They have a slender and segmented body, a pair of wings, and 3 pairs of long hair-like legs. One of their most distinguishing features is their elongated mouthparts, or proboscis, which is specially designed for piercing and sucking. Female mosquitoes use this proboscis to draw blood from hosts, which they need to produce eggs. Males, on the other hand, feed on nectar and plant juices. Now let's talk about their life cycle, which is as fascinating as it is complex. It all starts with eggs, which a female mosquito lays on the surface of stagnant water. These eggs hatch into larvae, often called wrigglers because of their wriggly swimming motion. After some time, these larvae metamorphose into pupae, a stage of rest and transformation. And finally, from these pupae emerge the adult mosquitoes, ready to take flight and begin the cycle anew. One more interesting thing about mosquitoes is the peculiar sound they produce. Ever wondered why mosquitoes buzz? The sound is produced by the rapid beating of their wings, which can flap an astonishing 600 to 800 times per second. The frequency of these wing beats is what gives each species its characteristic whine. Remember though, not all mosquitoes are identical. There are over 3,000 species of mosquitoes worldwide, each with their unique traits and habits. Some prefer to lay their eggs in clean water, while others choose polluted water. Some bite during the day, others at night. But one thing they all have in common is their remarkable adaptability, which allows them to thrive in a variety of environments. With this understanding of their structure and life cycle, we move on to their infamous role as parasites. Mosquitoes, small in size, but their impact on human health is colossal. These tiny creatures are not only annoying with their incessant buzzing and biting, but they are also the deadliest animals on Earth. Yes, you heard it right. They are responsible for causing millions of deaths annually. Let's talk about the diseases they transmit. Malaria, dengue fever, and West Nile virus are just a few of the deadly diseases mosquitoes can carry. Malaria alone, transmitted by the female Anopheles mosquito, is responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths each year, predominantly in sub-Saharan Africa. Then we have dengue fever, a viral illness that can lead to severe flu-like symptoms and sometimes develop into a potentially lethal complication known as severe dengue. The Aedes mosquitoes, especially Aedes aegypti, are the primary transmitters of this disease. The West Nile virus, primarily transmitted by the Culex mosquitoes, is another disease that can lead to severe neurological illnesses like encephalitis or meningitis. Such diseases are more prevalent in tropical and subtropical regions, but with global travel and climate change, they're spreading to parts of the world where they were previously unseen. The global health impact is indeed staggering. Now you might be wondering, what can we do to protect ourselves and our loved ones from these dangerous insects? Well, there are several preventive measures and control methods that can be taken. Using insect repellents, wearing light-colored and long-sleeved clothing, and installing window and door screens can help keep mosquitoes at bay. It's also essential to control the breeding grounds for mosquitoes, primarily stagnant water areas. So remember to regularly empty and clean water-holding containers in your backyard, like buckets, pots, and tires. Even with these measures, the fight against mosquitoes is far from over. It requires global efforts in research, public health initiatives, and community participation. Knowing how to protect ourselves is essential. But let's delve into some myths and curiosities about mosquitoes. Ever heard that mosquitoes are attracted to sweet blood? Let's bust some myths. Let's start with a common myth that you've probably heard. Mosquitoes are attracted to people with sweet blood. But what does that even mean? Do mosquitoes have a sweet tooth? The truth is, sweet blood is a complete myth. Mosquitoes don't care about the sugar levels in your blood. What really attracts them is the carbon dioxide you exhale and certain compounds in your sweat, such as lactic acid. Now, what about the idea that mosquitoes prefer biting some people more than others? Well, this one is actually partially true. Mosquitoes seem to be more attracted to people who produce more heat and sweat, which is why they might be more attracted to larger people or those who have just exercised. Moving on, have you ever heard that only female mosquitoes bite? This is not a myth, but a fact. Only female mosquitoes feed on blood, which they need to produce their eggs. Males, on the other hand, feed on nectar and plant juices. And what about the claim that mosquitoes die after they bite you? This is another myth. After a female mosquito has had her fill of blood, she simply flies off to digest and lay her eggs. She can, and often does, live to bite another day. Now let's delve into some intriguing curiosities about mosquitoes. Did you know that a mosquito can drink up to 3 times its weight in blood? Don't worry though, even with the most voracious of mosquitoes, you're not going to lose a significant amount of blood to these pests. Ever wondered how mosquitoes survive the rain? Considering their size, a raindrop should be like a boulder to them. But mosquitoes have a unique way of dealing with this. When they sense a raindrop coming their way, they simply drop down and let it pass. And finally, despite their reputation as annoying pests, mosquitoes play an important role in the ecosystem. They serve as a food source for various species of birds, bats, and other insects. Their larvae also help in breaking down organic matter in water, aiding in nutrient recycling. And here's a sobering thought to end with. Mosquitoes are the deadliest animals on Earth. It's not sharks, snakes, or lions, but mosquitoes that hold this grim title. They are responsible for transmitting diseases like malaria, dengue fever, and Zika virus, causing millions of deaths every year. With these myths busted and curiosities answered, we hope you've gained a new perspective on mosquitoes. That's a wrap on our journey into the secret life of mosquitoes. We've journeyed through their unique anatomy, the darker aspects of their existence as parasites, and even debunked a few myths while satisfying our curiosities. Remember, knowledge is power, and understanding these tiny creatures can make a big difference. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and drop your comments below. Until next time, stay curious.